Live free, speak your piece. Stay humble in these streets, yeah. In these streets. Let's go. Playground parks with the trees and the cars. Brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch. Murals on the walls for the ones that we lost. Bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store. Subway stations with the maps in the cars. Summer cookouts, uncle got the sandals on. Statue of Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York.
We from the home of the Biggie, people blowing they ciggies. And these girls going wild cause they flashing they titties, it's litty. Watch your steps cause these blocks be shitty. We grew up on that bad boy in 96 with Diddy. Take a walk, come with me, let me show you what really go down. Fiends on the corner, every hood got a deli or crowns. Cops pull us over, it don't matter if you black or you brown. City never sleeps, this the place that where hip hop was found.
Playground parks with the trees and the cars. Brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch. Murals on the walls for the ones that we lost. Bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store. Subway stations with the maps in the cars. Summer cookouts, uncle got the sandals on. Statue of Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York. I look around as I'm viewing the city. Skyscrapers and bridges, bright lights, fast life, Manhattan living. Cross over downtown, welcome to the concrete. The Nets to Barclays, the Mets to Yankees. Ubers and yellow taxis. And while I'm fitted with some butters, we heard savvy when tight jeans was baggy. From JFK to LaGuardia, city that never sleeps, insomnia. Home of Junior Mafia, word. Playground parks with the trees and the cars. Brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch. Murals on the walls for the ones that we lost. Bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store. Subway stations with the maps in the cars. Summer cookouts, uncle got the sandals on. Statue of Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, BK all day, BK all day. We go hard, we go hard. Yeah, yeah, like so. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, BK all day, BK all day. We go hard, we go hard. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Let peace, stress free, let it be. God got a bigger plan for you and me. Let peace, stress free, let it be. God got a bigger plan for you and me. Let peace, stress free, let it be. God got a bigger plan for you and me. Yeah.
Howdy, everybody. It is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, bringing you another episode of the Hop Nerd Live Show. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing absolutely awesome. I'm doing great. I'm all discombobulated here. I gotta get all set back up. I was reaching for headphones, trying to swing the mic around, trying to do all this kind of stuff. And now my camera's all kind of lopsided, I just noticed. So I hope you enjoy this. This is the Apocalypse Cast, I guess is what we're going to continue calling it, at least for right now. I hope you're doing well wherever you find yourself out there. You can give us I was going to say you could give us a text, but here, take a look at this. We know how things are going working from home, right? We know how that's going. Everybody's kind of figuring out how this working from home kind of thing really works. And right there's why you can't text me. You can see that right there, right? The very few moments, precious moments of the day that she gets the cell phone. And it's while I'm live casting. That'll keep her busy for about 15 minutes, and she'll be over hanging out with us. But she is playing a game. She's hanging out over there. She's kind of showing us. I don't know if she's going to show us what she's got going on over there, but she's hanging out. She's playing a game. She's got the headphones on, so that's why you can't text me. But you can call me, 480-712-5219. We're going to continue on doing this thing every single day for right now. That's what we've been doing lately. Our normal show times are Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8, but things are a little different now, right? We're all kind of scrolled away and locked in the house and all of that kind of sort of stuff. So I think it's fun to do this. I enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy it. The one thing that I will say, I worked on some stuff yesterday. So if you follow along with me very much, you'll notice you've seen like some test screens and some stuff popping up last night. Number one, that's because I cussed Caster yesterday, and I'm coming to you via Restream right now. So I moved over to Restream. For a lot of you, that doesn't matter. You're like, well, WTF, I don't really know or care what that is. But I'm coming to you live over Restream right now. So hopefully things are coming through pretty good. I played with it a little bit to try to make that work. And I got all of my chat consolidated into one thing now. So if you send me a message on any of the platforms that you're watching on, I should be able to get it right here on my screen, right here in front of me. It should be really cool. I should be able to see what you're telling me. So that should be the easiest way now, hopefully the easiest way for you to get a hold of me is to just jump in the chat box on whatever you're watching and send me a message via comment, right? That's going to be probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. But I hope things are going well for you. Things are going pretty great for me. I don't have anything to really complain about. I wanted to come on here and rant about how much better I already find Restream. I think it's kind of a blast right now. I'm really enjoying it. I tinkered with it a lot last night. Again, if you've seen some of those things, you've probably seen things kind of changing around and stuff kind of happening. And yeah, so I'm still struggling to get certain things set up. So if you're used to watching me on a particular platform, I apologize if I'm not coming to you on that platform. I can tell you right now we're simulcasting to, if I don't knock everything down there, look at my little prop, at least it was empty. We're coming to you on the Hop Nerd Twitch. We're coming to you on the Hop Nerd YouTube channel. We're coming to you live on the Dad Daddy Daughter Media Facebook page, the Hop Nerd Facebook page, the Sam Goodman Facebook page, the Sam Goodman personal Facebook page. And then I'm also coming to you on Periscope now. So I should be coming to you live on Periscope. And if you jump into any of those comment sections, I should get them live right here in my handy dandy box. Kind of sort of cool, right? I think it's kind of cool. How are things going for you? Again, I told you things are going pretty good here in the greater Phoenix area. I always hate to use the normal word, but things have been kind of normal, at least from what I'm seeing right now. Things seem to be somewhat normal. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I noticed that traffic seems to be increasing here in the Phoenix area, which is kind of weird. And I'm not saying it's a lot, but at least on my commute, at least coming through downtown Phoenix, I've noticed that traffic seems to be a little heavier than normal, which is kind of odd, to be completely honest with you, because it's been pretty dead-ass empty for the past little bit. So I've noticed that it's like the red lights are working again. Like people are actually getting piled up a little bit at red lights. Like weird things like that are kind of sort of happening right now, which is a little different from what we've been used to lately. I don't know. I haven't interacted with this yet, but let's jump over there and see what's going on, at least here. And I haven't looked I haven't looked here in the greater Phoenix area. Everything still seems to be pretty solidly green other than a lot of road closures. I will tell you, I've noticed that ADOT is starting to use this really as a great opportunity to do some serious road work. So there seems to be a lot of closures where they're slowing down stuff down and working on stuff, which is just kind of interesting. I think that's kind of neat. I don't know. I'm a nerd. Let's look at traffic cameras. So you can see it's kind of more than what we've seen the past couple times we've done this. At least I can say that. It seems like it. Well, that one's not. But again, at least in some of the areas that I commute, it seems like there's more. Roads are still pretty dead kind of all over, though, which is, I guess, still good. But yeah, for me, I noticed my commute has been kind of wacky. It seems like there's more cars. I don't know if it's more cars or if there's more foot traffic right now. We've got a lot of these little red lights that basically just stop for crosswalks, right? They give you like the flashing lights. It's like, hey, when these are stop when red and when it's flashing, proceed when safe. We have a lot of those for like little trails that go across the road. We have a massive canal system here in Arizona where folks can bike across that stuff, do all that kind of sort of stuff. So where you find those crossings, yeah, that's where it gets a little interesting right now. So there's a lot more stoppages for stuff like that and just people going out and kind of doing their outdoorsy kind of stuff. Again, let us know how things are going for you. I told you my text line is down right now for good reason. Avery's using that phone. But you can always call us. It'll come through right here on my screen, 480-712-5219, and we can have that conversation live and on the air. Before we get too much farther, do me a favor, head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. Follow along on all things social media at The Hop Nerd. That's always handy for me. I always appreciate when you follow along on all those things. Remember, Twitter special, it's The Hop Nerd one. I don't really use Twitter that much anyways, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, that's cool. Maybe I'll use it more one of these days. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube. YouTube's probably a really good place to follow me because that's an easy way to get a hold of me during all this live stuff, during all this stuff that's going on. YouTube is a really handy thing for most, right? I'm trying to pump out a bunch more video content, as you know. I'm always trying to put out more video content and cooler video content. So I've really been working on that quite a bit, really been trying to perfect these live streams a little bit. We're really trying to make things happen here. And really just make this a fun and enjoyable show all around. And the great thing about the live show is I don't just have to talk about hop. I don't just have to talk about safety. We can get into anything that you want to. We can get into work. We can get into life. We can get into work-life. We can get into work-life balance. We can get into work-life unbalance. We can get into all kinds of other stuff. And speaking of all of that kind of other stuff, I wrote an article. I hope you go check it out. It's on the website, www.thehopnerd.com, or you can check it out on my LinkedIn under Samuel Goodman. You can find me there. I'll publish a bunch of crap there. This is the first article I've written in quite a while, and I actually wrote it on 5 ways that I'm using the apocalypse to refuel my creative reservoirs other than just pounding out a bunch more work like it seems like a lot of folks are doing right now. I found that this is a really good time to kind of get the reboot and not burn out. So take a look at it. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you like it. And with that, we'll jump over and see what's going on. Kind of in the news, I think. We'll look at on this day in history. And maybe we'll even dive into some famous birthdays. And I've been thinking about doing some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see how things go. I'm always interested in just learning random facts, so we might look up some random stuff too. I like the random Wikipedia page. I don't know how you like that, but that's one thing that I always love to take a look at is Wikipedia random, and you can pull up some really wacky, interesting stuff. Let's see if the computer allows it. So the computer is back to giving me the colorful rainbow wheel of doom, like like Macs do, right? Like they do. So it's not really letting me scroll too much. So if it lets me scroll, if this massively expensive MacBook lets me scroll, and I get it's got some years on it. The price you pay for a MacBook, they should last until you die, but they don't. Let's see. I just Googled it in news. Let's see what's going on around here. Fauci says U.S. coronavirus deaths may be more like 60,000. Antibody tests on the way. No shaking hands ever again. The lesson of revised death toll estimates shouldn't be that distancing was an overreaction. Let's see if it'll load that up. I'd be interested in seeing what that says. And I get that. Sometimes an overreaction is better than an underreaction, and it might be in this situation. I don't know. I think we'll have to see how that plays out. You can go back and listen to my rant on a lot of other stuff, but I think we need to demand better and better information. I think we got duped in a lot of ways, in a lot of things that went down here. So I would encourage us to continue to press on our leaders and not to follow blindly. We really need to go and find out what's going on. We really need, as Avery comes into the frame, but we really need to press and make sure that folks we understand. Sorry, I got a little frazzled there. But we really need to lean on our governments, on those folks that lead us, and press for better and better and better information. That's one thing that we really, really need to do. I won't re-rant that. That's the fun part about trying to pull up the news, right? You can't pull up the news without 3,700 ads. So they're going to clickbait you, and then they're going to add you to this so they can make the money off of their clickbait. And another ad. So let's see if that'll close. Thank you, the Washington Post. You're wonderful. Not. I want people to assume that I'm over or that we are overreacting, Fauci said. Because if it looks like you're overreacting, you're probably doing the right thing. I don't know if I would say that is completely true or not. I think overreaction sometimes isn't a great thing. I think we have to be cautious with that. We really have to be mindful of what that looks like and how that works, right? Because overreacting can be a terrible thing sometimes, right? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that statement. But I think what we really need to understand after this thing is, how do we learn from it? How do we learn from our reaction? How do we better prepare ourselves in the future? That's probably helpful. And how do we balance that with everything else? Because everything else is just as important. Let's just level. Let's just say that. Let's just throw it out there right now. Everything else is just as important. It totally is. Right? What kind of life is it? Let's say that this is a new normal. Let's say that let's go complete drastic end of the scale and say the government says that this is going to last for the next 15 years and you're not going to be allowed to leave your house, and if you do, you better have a damn good essential purpose and you better show your papers and all this kind of other stuff that's going on. And I know I'm getting extreme, but what the hell kind of life is that? If we have to do this for another 6 months, what kind of hell life is that? Is it worth it? Is it? Ask yourself that. I know I'm asking myself that. If I have to do this for a year, is it really worth it? Or would I rather take my chances and see how it comes out on the other side? I think I'd rather roll the dice. I'm sorry. That's just me. I think I would rather roll the dice. And I think many people would say the same thing, rather than living in this constant fear that we seem to enjoy so very much. On this day, April 9th, Robert E. Lee surrendered, as we know. He surrendered at the Appomattox Courthouse in my home state of Virginia. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his 28,000 troops to Ulysses S. Grant, effectively ending the American Civil War. Forced to abandon the Confederate capital of Richmond, blocked from joining the surviving Confederate forces in North Carolina, and harassed constantly by Union cavalry, Lee had no other option. Pretty interesting day in history. Let's see what else was going on in this day in history. If we can get past the 75,000 pop-ups that we get from every website you ever go to. In 2003, Baghdad fell to U.S. forces. In 2005, Charles and Camilla wed. In 1959, NASA introduced on this day its first astronauts, which is pretty interesting. In 1969, the Chicago 8 pled not guilty to federal conspiracy charges. The Chicago 8 indicted on federal charges of conspiracy to incite riot at the 1968 Democratic Convention in Chicago pled not guilty. So pretty interesting there. There's a lot of cool stuff happening on this day in history, if it lets me continue to read it. One of these days, I'm going to save up and buy a computer so we don't have to talk about this and argue about my stupid computer. U.S. Secretary of State George Shultz condemns Soviet spying in 1987. 1942, troops surrender in Bataan, Philippines, in the largest ever U.S. surrender. This is when they were surrendered and they taken captive by the Japanese. It was a force of 66,000 Filipinos and 12,000 Americans, the largest contingent of U.S. soldiers to ever surrender. And again, they were taken captive by the Japanese in 1940. That was 1942. In 1940, Germany invades Norway and Denmark. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff on this day in history. April 9th, happening all throughout the years. Let's see what's going on. Continuing through the news, CNN was mocked for changing headline of Senate Dems to blocking $250 billion small business fund. When is CNN not mocked nowadays? When is any major news outlet not mocked nowadays? They all, and don't get me wrong, I'm not picking on CNN, I'm picking on all of them. They all deserve it. They all deserve much worse mocking than what they get. Let's just completely level on that one. CNN was lampooned by critics on Thursday after a headline of its report on Senate Democrats blocking financial relief for small business was quickly changed. A $250 billion urgent request to shore up a depleting small business fund failed to pass the Senate Thursday after Democrats objected to the measure pushed by the White House and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. With lawmakers home and social distancing, McConnell sought to pass the cash infusion swiftly Thursday by unanimously consent with a skeleton group of senators, but Democrats blocked the effort because they want add-ons to help businesses in disadvantaged communities and an additional $250 billion in funds for other priorities. Can we just say that? Can we just stop spending billions? Is that an answer? Maybe if a business, and if we need to be shelling out this kind of money to this business, maybe they're not that good at, I don't know, business? Am I the asshole? I don't think so. But it seems like if you need to be propped up by the government every time something bad happens, you might suck at being in business. Might be a good idea to get out of it. So I don't like either of these answers. I think they're both dumb. The Republicans want to throw out $250 billion. The Democrats want to double it and add in a bunch of extra crap. Sounds familiar, right? Both answers suck. I think that's the correct answer to the test here. Both answers suck. Trump preparing to announce a second task force focused on economic recovery. Again, I think there's going to be a lot more money spent, so our great-grandchildren will be continuing to pay the bill for this. The USNS Mercy is in California, as we know. I haven't looked to see what's going on here. I haven't looked. I've seen a lot of these interesting articles and pictures from these hospital camps, basically that were put out, and you know, the media standing in front of them with masks on going, oh, can you believe people are jogging around these awful camps and they could just die and get sick, and these camps are here and they're flooded and we're going to have to bury the dead people in the parks beside the camps. And then like a day later, then the pictures show inside the camps and they're empty. Asshole news media, again, exactly what we were just talking about, right? They're empty. Most of the ones we've seen have been empty. There's one that I drive past every single day here in Phoenix that's there for preparations. That's empty, right? The news stands in front of it, takes a picture, and goes, here at this hospital field camp, can you believe we're COVID-19, we're all going to die, and uses it in that fashion. But that's about all it's been used for right now, currently at least. I get why it's there. I get that it's important. But it's basically used as a prop for the media to stand in front of and pander to panic. On March 27th, the Mercy, a massive floating hospital ship, arrived at the port of Los Angeles, as we know. We'd seen that, and it was placed there for the surging numbers of COVID-19 patients. It is still sitting there. We're looking to see what's going on. But here in California, its crew hasn't been treating troops evacuated from the battlefield with gunshot wounds, blast injuries, blah, blah, blah. It's been treating a range of maladies more common in a giant metropolis. Since the Mercy arrived, the crew have treated 31 patients in total, released 10 of them as of noon on Wednesday. Surgeons on board have performed 5 operations, including repairing an obstructed bowel, removing a ruptured appendix, an inflamed gallbladder, and treating a stab wound. So it's similar to the conversation that we had as it had to do with some of our other folks, as we see these kind of field hospitals pop up, is basically it was being used, it sounds like, to treat normal stuff, just to add some capacity, insert patient capacity here, right? Plug it in and give a little bit more room, little extra beds to treat normal kind of day-to-day stuff so the hospitals can continue to manage their response to COVID-19. So, yeah, pretty interesting. I think that's interesting to see. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's probably a good thing to have that there. See what else we have popping up here in the news. Again, I randomly pick articles. They come from all over the place. Here's probably a solid statement. Attorney General William Barr called the restrictions intended to slow the spread of coronavirus draconian, true, and said that they should be reexamined next month. Probably pretty true. The draconian measures that are being adopted are fully justified, and there are not alternative ways of protecting people. I think, when this period of time ends, when the period of time at the end of April expires, I think we have to allow people to adapt more than we have and not just tell people to go home and hide under their beds, but allow them to use other ways of social distancing and other means to protect themselves, Barr told Laura Ingraham. And I'm not disagreeing for once. Again, what's better, what's worse, what do we need to do? I think that's something we really need to consider, especially as we start to realize that maybe these numbers aren't quite as crazy as what we thought that they were going to be, or they're not as crazy as we thought that they were. Might be something to think about. A 66-year-old Michigan nursing home patient suffering from the coronavirus turned to her Amazon Echo show in her final days, pleading for help from Alexa to cope with her pain before dying, according to a report. Luann Dagan was one of 31 residents and 5 staffers at the Metron of Cedar Springs who tested positive for the illness, according to Wood TV. Dagan, who was quarantined along with her other residents in a separate section of the home, pleaded in desperation with the virtual assistant dozens of times before dying Saturday at a hospital in Grand Rapids, the station reported. Her sister, Penny Dagan, that'd be a cooler last name, but no disrespect for you, Miss Dagan. Dagan recovered the 40 heartbreaking recordings from the device. Alexa, help me, Luann was heard saying at one point, according to the recording her sister shared with a news outlet. I am in pain. I have to find a way to relieve it, the ailing woman told Alexa. Can you help me cope with pain? Oh, Alexa, I'm going to hurt, she said. Luann, who also asked for help reaching law enforcement. How do I get to the police, she said, according to the recording, which showed she was provided with directions to the nearest police station. I just kept telling her there wasn't anything I could do, Penny said. She tearfully apologized to her younger sister. I'm sorry. I couldn't help you more. I'd take your pain away, she said. Luann, who suffered from diabetes and hypertension, was living at the Metron ever since she survived a stroke almost 10 years ago, the station reported. She had been short of breath. She had some other things going on. It wasn't until Thursday that they started the saline solution because she was getting dehydrated. She just kept saying, I'm thirsty. She didn't think she could drink, though. Again, kind of normal symptoms that you're seeing. I don't mean to. This one I found kind of interesting. I wanted to look at, but yeah, I don't know exactly what they're trying to say. I get it. It's sad, but it doesn't seem like a really good way to throw this nursing home under the bus when it seems like they did everything that they were supposed to do correctly. And I'm just browsing at this, so I don't know. Again, it's everything is sensationalized. It's going to be these continued stories. I keep seeing these funny memes floating around. This like wreck in a car and die. Damn it, COVID. How could you do that, COVID? And we're hearing some true stories, some pretty interesting stories of that going on out there, of basically death certificates being marked as COVID, even if it had nothing to do with you testing positive, right? So you test positive for COVID, you die out of a car crash, they'll mark you as a COVID fatality. So kind of in the same vein, just pumping up a hype, pumping up the panic, kind of sad stuff. I think it's just kind of wacky. Kind of wacky. It's not kind of wacky. It is wacky, and it always leads us back to the same place that we keep talking about. Make sure that we're helping, right? Spreading and scaring and doing all this kind of stuff. Make sure that we're helping. Scaring the shit out of people is not helping. Let's just be honest with each other. It's not. Here's an interesting thing. How white tents in downtown Phoenix, hey, that's my house. That's my home. in downtown Phoenix are helping prevent the COVID-19 spread among the homeless. So I've seen these. There's a bunch of white tents that have popped up in downtown Phoenix. Fox 10 takes a look inside to see what they're doing and how they might prevent COVID-19 from spreading among those without a home. Nearly every instruction we were given on how to avoid the virus, especially when you're infected, are nearly impossible to follow those if you don't have a home and nowhere to isolate. Circle the City provides health care to those going through homelessness in Phoenix. Starting this Wednesday, they launched a new project to make sure anyone showing symptoms of COVID-19 have somewhere to go. They've set up 8 tents on the Human Services campus. Each tent has 5 cots inside. They have air conditioning, hand washing stations, and bathrooms. Each cot is separated from the other cots inside the tents. Some medical care will be provided to anyone with serious symptoms. So pretty interesting. Basically giving the homeless a way to isolate if they are going through that same kind of problem. Phoenix it's a large city. It has a substantial homeless population. It does, right? It's just like any. I'll tell you, it's probably smaller than most cities that I travel to, most cities that I've seen. It's way lower than most of the cities I see in California as we kind of go all over the place and see all that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of it seems like there's more homelessness in other parts of the country. Okay. So, pretty interesting stuff though, right? I mean, I think that's neat to see that those are popping up, that they're using those, that they're trying to help. So, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's one thing that we're seeing come out of this. Even even, that's not COVID-19, I promise, even if, we find that we dramatically overreacted to this, that the news hyped everything up to scare the shit out of everybody and all this kind of other stuff, at least we've had the opportunity to go through this and probably learn some stuff, right? We've had the opportunity to get innovative and adapt and figure stuff out. I was just in a call just a little bit ago, hanging out with some of my team, the team that I'm on with my day job, working on some stuff, and they're amazing in innovating and figuring out all this kind of stuff, and it's just really cool to see all of that stuff happening right now. I like it. I love it. I got to have more of it. That's what I think we need. Unfortunately, it took this to force us into innovating. Unfortunately, it took this to force us into understanding that there are certain laws out there that probably don't do anything, that just or just roadblocks for no reason, right? We find that in our organizations, in our local governments, in our states, that there are rules that just don't make sense. That just make our lives harder for no reason, right? That just makes our lives more restrictive for no reason. We find that there's a lot of stuff that we've kind of dropped the ball on, and we need to learn more, and we need to innovate more, and we need to get more intense with a lot of this stuff. But who knows? Hopefully things will continue to go like that even after this is over and done with. At least we hope so, right? That's what we hope for. So how are you seeing adaptations happening? How are you seeing all this stuff going on out there? Give us a call, 480-712-5219. I always love to hear from you. We're going to keep doing this thing every single day just because I find it fun. I enjoy it. I think it's super cool. I hope that that you're liking it as much as I'm liking it. I'm liking it quite a bit. I think it's fun. I'm really enjoying this quite a bit. I'm trying to pull up some other stuff here. Let's see what we can come up with as we kind of, pretty interesting. Just trying to get some stuff happening here. Trying to pull up some stuff, looking at some news, browsing at some stuff. Maybe we can look up, let's see if there's any cool famous birthdays that have gone down on today that aren't. Look, I don't talk about the YouTube ones. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't talk about social media influencers, TikTok stars. I don't bring up their birthdays because I don't know who the hell any of them are. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't know who any of them are. So today is April the 9th. Lil Nas X turns 21. That's pretty cool. Kristen Stewart turns 30 today. Jesse McCartney turns 33. It would have been Hugh Hefner's birthday today. The late Hugh Hefner died in 2017. There's literally a 6-year-old in here. I'm not going to mention names, but there's a 6-year-old in here that's above Let's see who she's above. She's about 20 spots above Marc Jacobs. So she's 20 times more popular than Marc Jacobs, according to this. She's about... Is there more? Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So there's not any great other ones that I'm seeing, at least to tell you that part. I mean, a 6-year-old YouTube star is 20 times to 30 times more popular, according to this website's algorithm, than Marc Jacobs. But Marc Jacobs' birthday today. There you go. Marc Jacobs is 57 as of today. That's pretty cool. I think that's kind of neat. Jasmine Sullivan, 33 today. Dennis Quaid turns 66 today. Think that's kind of cool. So there's some pretty good ones in here. There's some pretty cool birthdays happening today. I'll tell you one thing that I went back and watched. I've been sharing with you a lot of this stuff, talking about what we're watching, what we're doing, how we're passing the time. I went back yesterday and spent some time watching the Grand Ole Opry 40th anniversary. I think it was the 40th. I might be lying to you. It's on Prime. Or a Grand Ole, God, not the Grand Ole Opry. Jeez. Where's my mind at? I was looking for the Grand Ole Opry because I wanted to watch some Grand Ole Opry stuff. As I'm wearing my Sex, Drugs, Flat, and Scruggs shirt here. But I was looking for some stuff. You know, I had that kind of music on my mind. I've been going back over the past couple of days, listening to pretty much nothing but John Prine on repeat. Just celebrating John Prine and enjoying the John Prine music. Right, that's something I listen to John probably every week, anyways. At least a song here or two there. He's kind of ends up in my playlists. Just based off of the stuff that I listen to. So I was going back, I was listening to some John Prine stuff, and then I'm like, I wonder what's going on. Let me look up some John Prine stuff. So I basically started with a John Prine search on Amazon Prime, looking for Prine on Prime. But then I ended up with this 40-year anniversary of Austin City Limits. There we go. Not the Grand Ole Opry. My bad. I'm sorry. They're both great. Let's just level. Right, they're awesome. So I sit down and I watch the 40th anniversary of the 40th anniversary celebration of Austin City Limits. And so if you're looking for a really cool concert to sit down and watch, it's about an hour and a half long. It is a great watch. It's a couple years old. I think it was 17, something like that. 16, 17, 18, somewhere around there was the 40th. But it is a great watch if you like that kind of Austin City Limits stuff. It's very, 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 very cool. So especially as we're all kind of feeding for some music, maybe some live concerts or something. There's a lot of folks that are continuing to stream. I noticed that with Brad Paisley. You know, Brad Paisley is continuing to stream and do a lot of that kind of stuff, which is really cool. Really, really liking that quite a bit. That's awesome. And he's just one example. And I'm not just a country person at all. I listen to music that I like. I listen to music that I find good. It could be just about anything. Most folks that know me personally understand that my music tastes go all over the charts. I mean, from this to that to just about anything. I listen to just about anything. If I like it, I like it. And it's just that simple. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I just have one simple test with music. I just have to feel it. As long as I can feel it, I usually like it. If I listen to it and I'm like, that's it. That's the only test I use. If I get the little goosebump thing going on when I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Then I usually like it. That's pretty much the only test, to be honest with you. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool little concert if you want to go back and listen to that. Anything Austin City Limits is usually excellent. Right, that's about the only way to put it. It is usually excellent. Give us a call, 480-712-5219. We always want to hear from you. We're always looking to have that conversation with you. Always feel free to jump in the comments. I've been ranting about that quite a bit. You know, when I first started out this whole live streaming thing, we're constantly trying to make this better. That's part of what I was talking about earlier. We're constantly working on the studios here. You've noticed that we've upgraded some lighting. We've made some different things cool. We're slowly starting to make some progress on the cameras as we can. We're starting to work on some other audio stuff to basically increase our capacity here, preparing for us to come out of the apocalypse to where I want to have basically the whole damn family show here, right? I basically want to have everybody just anybody, right? I just want to be able to have that whole conversation to where I can have all my friends at once if I want to, right? All 2 of them. No, but yeah, something like that. But basically, to be able to have a good chunk of folks here at one time, one-on-one, or just me, or all of us. So we're constantly working on making things better. And part of that was that I made the move to switch over to Restream. So I hope things are coming through to you pretty good. We just ditched Caster last night. After a lot of the trouble we were having yesterday, I was already frustrated with them. So we ditched them. We moved to Restream, and now we have this handy-dandy chat thing. And that's where I'm going. I'm pointing at my screen over here that you can't see. But I have a handy dandy big screen in front of me where I can transition stuff, I can see my phone lines, I can see the music in the background, I can see all that kind of sort of stuff, and it allows me to see the chats as well. So what's great about Restream is it's allowing me to look at your chats live. So even if Avery has the cell phone, right, even if Avery is over here hanging out, there she is, living her best life, look at that, living her best life, playing a game, chilling out, right, doing that kind of stuff. Even if she's got that going on and I can't hear your texts or I can't see your texts, you just jump right in the comments and I'll see it. I will see it right here live in real time. There's about a 10-second lag between, I played with it a little bit, right? So that's kind of cool. We can always have that conversation now. You just jump right in and we will talk, and I can answer your questions live right here on the air. You can call in, you can normally text in, but again, you can't do that right now. So there's the call me number, 480-712-5219. Jump in the comments, or normal day send us a text, just not today because somebody's having fun with a really cool game right now. But that's why we keep doing this thing. We're going to continue to do this every day for now. We're going to continue to have fun with this thing every day for now. Our normal show times are Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8. At some point, as life kind of probably gets back to some level of normal, we'll probably get back to that, or I'll look at maybe doing some other time frames. We might increase it more than 2 days a week. I don't know. I really enjoy doing this thing. As long as I enjoy doing this stuff, I like to go kind of full bore. I like to go ham. I like to do it as much as I can. So we'll see. I've been looking at some other schedule options too. Again, I have a real world job that I have to deal with too. Fortunately for me, I'm working my real world job from right here, right now. So that makes it super duper easy to jump on here and hang out with you for just a little bit. But yeah, we'll continue to figure that out, continue to see what that looks like. We'll see how everything pans out in the long run. And we're going to keep doing this thing every day until I just don't feel like doing it every day anymore, or until things either get so bad that we can't make it to the studios, or to where things get so good that I end up going back to my normal day job, at least on the more regular basis. Right. So I was thinking maybe even coming to you super duper early. I don't know what that looks like for everybody else. I was thinking about that, maybe playing with that idea a little bit. Maybe coming in here and hitting you super early, like a morning show. I don't know. And when I say super early, for me, it would have to be super early. We might do that a couple times a week. It wouldn't be every single day. But it might be fun to do that a couple times a week, to jump in here at 6 a.m. I'm up anyways. So maybe jump in here at 6 a.m. and come to you live for about an hour or so, or maybe you can start about 5:30 a.m. once or twice a week. I don't know, maybe do a morning show, or maybe even do it like that. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing here on the air. So to take none of this, absolutely none of this as a promise, okay? So I'm just talking out my ass right now, just trying to think about stuff. And I'd love to hear your input, what you would like to see happen, because you watch this thing. I'll put it out. You're the ones that watch it. You're the ones that consume it. So it's pretty important to me that you like it, right? Or that you at least have time to watch it. But what I'm thinking is maybe even doing like a morning show and then keeping the Wednesday and the Friday, right? So maybe doing like a early morning one day, the kind of the earlier afternoon on the Wednesdays, and then the later night on the Fridays. Maybe catch a little bit of everybody, right? And that might be something to think about too. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'll figure it out. You'll see it happen if it happens. I don't know. I really don't know yet. It's balancing everything, right? That's some of what I've kind of talked about in the article. I keep kind of pushing on you to go listen or read for me. Let me know what you think about it. Is this whole idea of some of what I discussed in that is using this time to try to rediscover balance. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to get up here and tell you that balance is the fix, because really, people that get really great at anything are the opposite of that. They usually get very unbalanced and focused on the thing that they really want to get great at. That's just being honest, right? We can do this pretend like life is balanced, but most people who are iconic and great, most people that really go far, become the best or the best at something. If you want to start talking, even just, you can talk, insert generic sports reference here. How balanced of a life do you think Muhammad Ali had? He just boxed, in balance, only this much a day, no more, because that would be his life out of balance. He needed to focus on bullshit. Right? And it's no different than anything else. I compare it to a lot of the, I think about when, you can't tell from looking at me right now, I've been in quarantine. I've got the quarantine 15, and then plus that I've got the holiday 30 that I packed on from before. We're slowly working on that. It's hard without a gym. But when I think back to over the past couple of years in powerlifting in general, the times when I've gotten the strongest in my life, the time when I've gotten the leanest in my life, the times when I've gotten the best in the best shape of my life, whether it be for just that or against the strongest, everybody has a different definition of what the best shape is for them. Those times I had zero balance in my life. My life was completely invested into those things, right? When I got the strongest I've ever been, my whole life was built around getting stronger. Balance doesn't do that for you. It doesn't. Again, let's just be honest. It doesn't do that for you. You don't become extremely strong. You don't become ripped, right? You don't get really good at this, right? You don't get really good at writing. You don't get really good at music. You don't get really good at whatever. You don't become the one, the only, the legendary John Prine, R.I.P., as another example, by living a balanced life in which you take small doses of those things, right? You do it by becoming extremely unbalanced and a very probably, I won't even say healthy obsession. It's probably an unhealthy obsession in a lot of ways, right? And that's how you get to that point. But what I am working on right now, because I have the extra bandwidth to do that, is I'm trying to focus on how can I get things balanced enough to where everything's functioning, right? To where everything works well together. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to figure out how this live stream fits into the balance as we emerge from this kind of wacky thing. So I'm going to continue to shift things around. I have to make it work for me, right? That's the biggest thing. I can't live my life behind the computer all the time, right? None of us can. Just like I can't live my life in the gym all the time. I can't live my life not here all the time, right? I got to be here. I like this. I love this. I got to have more of this. So I'm figuring that out. And once I really figure that, I'm really taking this time to try to think and plan and figure out what everything looks like when everything gets back to normal. And I think it'll be cool. I think we'll figure it out. I think it'll be great. I think we'll figure out something to where we can really, really have fun and make this thing grow, hopefully, right? That's what we're really focused on. We want to see this thing grow. So do us a favor. If you see us sharing, if you see us live streaming, share it, like it, all that kind of stuff. I always appreciate it when you do. It hits me right here in the cockles of my heart when you share, when you like, when you do all that stuff. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about this new kind of setup. Let me know what you think about this new using Restream, all that kind of stuff. I'm working on some other things. Again, we're always trying to better the studio, trying to better the content, all that kind of stuff. I'm really looking forward to having some guests here. That's going to be huge. I'm excited for that. I can't wait. If you can't tell, I like people. If you can't tell from the interviews that we do on the podcast, I like people. And there's a good thing to go follow. Go follow the podcast. That's pretty cool. I've been putting a bunch of these on the podcast. I'm not going to put today because I just jumped on here and I didn't even record it. Honestly, I'm not recording this for the pod. So all my live stream folks that watch this thing in video, you're getting a little treat because you won't be able to get this on the pod. Not this one. Maybe tomorrow's. But yeah, do us a favor, follow the pod, continue to watch the live stream. A good and easy way to watch this thing too is you can go to www.thehopnerd.tv. TV, super duper easy way. Facebook is another easy way. YouTube is another easy way. All these kind of things where you can find us on there. But I really do look forward to being able to get some folks in here. We're really focusing on how do we make this thing a little bit better. And for me personally, getting outside of the nerdiness tech stuff here, I'm just excited to get some people in here. Just to be completely honest, that's really what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to have these chairs full, to have the couch full, to have to bring in some other chairs, to have somebody standing over here in the corner, right? That's what we're really looking forward to. We can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. I look forward to it so very much. And with that being said, if you know of anybody, it doesn't have to be safety. It doesn't have to be business. It doesn't have to be any of that kind of stuff. Let me know. Shoot me a text, 480-877-0155. Give me a call, 480-712-5219. Send me an email to sam@thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. Let me know of folks that you would like to see here in the studio. Maybe we can convince them to come out. Maybe they're here in the Phoenix area. I've got a list of like 10 people right now that are my neighbors that I know here, and some that I don't necessarily know, but I want to have on. Now I'm like, this would be great. We need to have them on. This is gonna be super cool. It'll be awesome. We'll get them here. We'll get them hanging out once we get out of this whole apocalypse thing. We'll see them hanging out here with us, and it'll be an absolute blast. So I can't wait for that. That's a lot of the stuff that I'm excited about as we kind of start to claw our way back to normal, and I think we're starting to see some of that. I think we're starting to feel some of that. I could be dramatically wrong, but it seems like with all the information that I'm reading, all the stuff that I'm seeing here lately, it really seems like we're getting back to a point where we're going, okay, maybe this isn't quite as bad as what we thought it was, or as bad as what we thought it was going to be. So let's try to get back to normal as quickly as we can, and that's really what we're hoping for. We're hoping to get back to normal pretty quick. I know I am. I can't wait. I'm excited to go back to the real gym. I'm excited to have guests here. I'm not excited for traffic to come back. I will say that much. I'm not excited for traffic to come back. I've really enjoyed everything being pretty kind of dead out there. I'm trying to pull up some of the Phoenix cam here. You guys know I don't prepare these things beforehand because I never know how I'm actually going to use them. It seems like every time that I go in here and I open it up and I play it and I set it up, I never actually use it. This is brought to you by the city of Phoenix. There you go. Look down there. That's the beautiful downtown shot. Looking far out into the distance. I think this is facing the west. Yeah, Phoenix City Cam West. Yeah, we're looking far to the west. There, as you can kind of see. Here we are looking to the south from downtown Phoenix. This is downtown. You don't really get to see much of uptown. For those of you that are aware, this is... Here you go to the east. If you looked beyond this, you could get more into uptown, but you can't really see past the buildings here. Pretty neat stuff, right? I mean, you can continue to see they've continued to shut down a lot of the streets downtown, a lot of other kind of stuff, which seems smart right now. It seems like a really great time to be able to do kind of work. And we know here's north, looking towards North Phoenix. This continues on and on and on, basically up into those mountains. Phoenix goes on and on and on and on. But pretty neat, right? Look at all the construction still happening. We need to start counting the floors in this building to see when things are see how it's growing. I think that's pretty neat. I hope things are going well for you wherever you find yourself during this crazy time. Please make sure to jump into the comments. I can see all your comments now. It's kind of cool, right? We switched over to a different software. So if you comment, it's a little bit of a delay, but I should see them pop up on my screen. So that's what I'm going for. I should see them pop up on my screen. If you've got something you want to talk about, they got something that's on your mind, you want to vent, you want to rant, that's fine. You can always call us too, 480-712-5219. That's a really easy way to get a hold of us. You can call us and we'll give that a shot. You can rant live and on the air. Or you can jump in the comments. As I mentioned, my text number is down right now, and it's only down for one reason, and that right there is the reason, right? Hanging out, doing some really fun stuff. That's been a lot of the fun for me, is this constant bring your daughter to work, and I really, really, really enjoy it. There's Avery hanging out, playing a game. She's just chilling. She obviously got mad over something there, but she's just chilling there, hanging out, enjoying her time here. But yep, easy way to get a hold of us. jump into the comments. Super easy way to get a hold of us. Get in the comments. I can see them here on the screen. You can always give us a call as well for 807-712-5219. We're going to keep this thing going for just a little bit longer, and then we will probably hop off here pretty shortly. Like I mentioned before, we're tossing around what this show is actually going to look like as we emerge out of the apocalypse. It's going to keep happening. Our normal times are Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8. I'm looking at what that schedule actually looks like. We're talking, if you're just joining us, we were talking a little while ago about maybe the possibility of doing an early morning show. Might work, right, to capture some folks. I think that would be kind of cool. That might work with my normal life, too. It just involves Sam being up super duper early, and I'm good with that. I'm up anyways. I just am. I'm weird. I know. I'm always awake. That's half the problem. I think that's why, I'm going to die before I'm 50. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just admitting it now because I get like 3 hours of sleep a night, and I live off of monsters. That's just me. I can eat like 37 melatonins, and I'm just like, let's keep going. I'm good. My mind doesn't stop. I like going. I like moving. I like staying going, and that's some of the problem I'm having with this lockdown, with this stay-at-home stuff. I've told you before, our normal schedule is we're up at the ass crack of dawn, and we go until the sun folds back into that ass crack. Right? We're up, and we're up before the sun, and we're gone out well after it's gone down usually, and then we come home and we pass out for a little bit, and then we get up and do it all over again. We're just busy. Our lives are busy, and busy in a good way. I work in my normal job. Jarrell works his normal job. Both of our jobs are fun and demanding, and I say fun and demanding because they're demanded in a fun way, right? We both really enjoy our employers. We both really enjoy our jobs. I say that all the time. I don't tell you who I work for. That's easy enough for you to find if you want to go find out who I work for on the day-to-day. But I like them. I love them. I got to have more of them. They're like my super duper favoritist folks in the world. If you see Avery back here scrambling, it's because she just poured juice all over one of her lights, so let's hope that it doesn't explode. But hopefully things are going good for you wherever you find yourselves. Always feel free to text us 480-877-0155. You can always call us 480-712-5219. I'm just happy to be here with you. We're going to continue doing this thing on the day today, at least until things make sense for us to stop doing that. We're going to continue to look at the schedule. Once I figure out what that schedule is going to look like, I will share that with you. You know I will. I'll publish that schedule. I'll get that out to you so you know when to watch for us. But I'm really thinking about doing a morning show. I'm really thinking about that. I was thinking about that hard last night. I'm like, well, even when things get back to normal, I think I could squeeze in a quick morning show. I would have to set a time limit for myself. That's hard, if you can't tell. That's pretty tough for me. But I think we could figure that out. I think that'd be fun to do a quick kind of morning show here. Maybe 30 minutes to an hour, something not too long, and maybe go with that. I don't know. I've just got to look. I'm planning all that stuff out. I'm figuring out what life looks like on the other side of this thing, as I would encourage you to. Now's a really good time to be planning, to be thinking about what you want to do on the other side of this apocalypse. We know we want the live stream to continue. We know we want the live show to continue. I keep sharing with you. I love the podcast. Don't get me wrong. I do. I love the podcast. This one right here, this right now is my baby, though. I really like this because I love the studio. I love sharing it with you. I love sharing this conversation with you. I just like this part of it. It's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy interacting with people. That's my favorite part about this entire thing. On the podcast, that's why the majority of the episodes you hear now are interviews, because I like to ramble. I like to rant, right? I like to get on here. I like to kind of vent and do all that kind of fun stuff. But a lot of what I really enjoy is talking to other folks. And I think a lot of us probably have that same thing. We really just enjoy spending time talking to other people, connecting with other people. The monster's running dry. That's not a good sign. But we really enjoy connecting with people. I really enjoy connecting with people. So you'll see that's where the interviews and stuff It's just fun for me. That's why sometimes those things go for hours and hours and hours, just because I like that conversation. Many of them, I'm thinking to one in particular that's coming out soon. Many of them, they go for hours and hours and hours, and you only get to hear a small portion of that usually, because sometimes we go, okay, we recorded that part, then we just sit and talk about other stuff that, probably not best for other ears to hear, right? It's okay to have your personal conversations, right? We like to sit there and then maybe talk some trash, right, that we're not necessarily going to release, or dive into some other topics that maybe you're not ready for. I won't say it like that, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, you get a good chunk of it, but I'm just saying I really like talking to people. So it's a lot of fun when we get to continue those conversations. So we'll figure out what that looks like as this thing kind of continues to go. So I don't know. What are you looking forward to getting back to? What's your plans as we emerge from the apocalypse that we've found ourselves in? I'd be interested to know, especially now that we know this thing doesn't seem like it's going to be nearly as bad as what we thought it was, right? Every day the numbers are like, well, we thought it was going to kill 4 bazillion. Now it might kill 1,000. Right? As we find ourselves in that place where we're going, I don't know, we just like that, but we just want to use this as an opportunity to take away your rights. Right, so I don't know. What are you planning on doing as we emerge? Because we will. I've got a feeling we're going to pretty soon, actually. The economy can't sustain this for too much longer. We're going to continue to cripple our nation, especially as I've continued to rant about. We need to demand better data from leaders. Right, use that term very loosely. We need to demand better data because we're not getting it. Every day the numbers seem to be going down. Going, oh yeah, well it's not really nearly as fatal. It's not really nearly as it's really not nearly as this, or it's not, we thought a couple million, now it's a couple 100,000, now it's 1,000. We don't really know what, we need to demand better data before we continue to lock ourselves in our homes for another couple months, I think. And I think we'll see that. I think that's what we're starting to see. I think we're starting to see that emerge. We're starting to see some sense kind of come out of this. And we need to continue to press on that so we can actually learn from this stuff. But I'd be really interested in what are you going to do as you emerge from this forced hibernation. Have you been planning? Have you been thinking about stuff? Have you been working on yourself? Have you been finding that balance? Have you been refilling your creative reservoirs, as I have kind of taken on as my mission? What have you been doing lately? I would be interested to know what you plan to do as we come out of this thing. You can always call us 480-712-5219. During our normal shows, you can text us. It's kind of sort of hard right now. You can text us right there. Look at that number, 480-877-0155. That's a really easy way to get a hold of us normally. But as we mentioned, Avery's thoroughly enjoying the cam right now. See if we can find her. There she is. She's still going strong. She's not gotten completely bored yet. She's about to be, though, and we're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon. Anyways, I always appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for continuing to hang out with us. We're having an absolute blast. We're trying to bring you the best live show that we possibly can. We're continuing to work on things around here. We're continuing to work out the bugs. And thank you for hanging out and putting up with that, basically. We always appreciate that. We're testing things. We're always trying to better things. We're always trying to get the kinks out here. And sometimes we find them, right? We continue to find them. Like we found over some past episodes over the past couple of weeks with some audio issues, with some issues with some of the services that we use, with all that kind of stuff. Thank you for continuing to hang out and put up with that. Thank you for continuing to participate with us. Thank you for continuing to send us all of these emails, all of that kind of sort of stuff. I always greatly appreciate it. I've gotten so many great words of encouragement over the past couple of weeks that I can't. I mean, it's just awesome. So many folks have just kind of continued to reach out to us and say, hey, how are you doing? Liking the show. It's super cool. Blah, 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 blah. How are you, though? And that's the main thing. We keep getting these calls and these texts that, hey, how are you guys doing? Do you have everything you need? Is everything going good for you there in Phoenix? And things are going well for us, huh? Everything's going pretty good for us, at least. She wants to come over and play with the lights. She's going to turn the lights different colors. But things are going super well for us. I hope things are going super well for you. You can always call us, 480, or text us, there we go, 480-877-0155. That's a super easy way to get a hold of us. You can call us, 480-712-5219, anytime. So if you're watching this after the fact, even if we are off the air, you can get a hold of us those ways, right? Those are super easy ways to get a hold of us. Leave us a voicemail. Leave us a text. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll jump into your conversations. We'll have that conversation live and on the air. Even if you record it not live and on the air, we will gladly share it. We'll gladly talk about it. So I think that's super cool. I'm going to continue to leave you with this message. We need to be helping, not hiding, right? Continue to help. Let me know if you need something from me. Reach out. There's easy ways to get a hold of me right there above. Sam@thehopnerd.com, thehopnerd@gmail.com. Head over to the website. Look at that stuff. There's a bot you can chat with there and get a hold of me that way. Head over to my socials. Those are easy ways to get a hold of me. Well, slide into the DMs, all that kind of sort of stuff. All fun and easy, super duper easy ways to get a hold of me, to get a hold of Avery, to get a hold of all of us and have a fun time or get some information. Again, I'm a safety pro. I can help you with a lot of stuff that way. I'm recovering. Yeah, I can help you with all your human organizational performance stuff too, and anything in between, right? I'm happy to help you and answer any questions that you might have. Reach out. I told you before, I'm slowing down a little bit during this time so if I don't respond like that, there's a reason. I'm spending time with this one. I'm spending time with my family, and I'm recharging my batteries a little bit, but I will get back to you. I promise you. I always do. So thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for continuing to be a part of the Hop Nerd Live Show. I always appreciate it. I'm the luckiest guy in the entire world. That's the only thing that I can say. That's really the only thing that I can say. I'm just the happiest guy in the entire world. So once again, thank you for continuing to join us. Get into touch. We'll be here live and in charge in the morning at some point tomorrow. I'll keep you updated on the schedule. Thank you for allowing me to continue to be your tour guide to the apocalypse, for allowing me to be your hop nerd. Thank you so very much. That is all I've got. Until next time, it is Sam Goodman signing off. Bye, everybody. Bye.